If you don't mind following me for a minute here, I think it's going to be worth it. I got these notebooks for myself, and I was never really much of a writer at all. In fact, I typically hated it. I found that a lot of the time my mind would be racing, and it was just a struggle to get the words on the page before I could advance my state of mind. So I always just never had good handwriting, and I always disliked writing. But I've gotten notebooks just to write my thoughts down, and it really is sort of a meditative experience, not just because, I'm going to look back at these notes or I want to save them and hold on to them, or I think it's less of that, and I think it's more of just when you think of an idea, writing it down can be sort of meditative in a way where it's more about just the process of writing it and feeling it than it is about once it's on the paper. And what I've found is that there are certainly some common themes in the things that I write. And there's one sort of idea that has been with me for most of my life, but it's kind of come up again, and I figured I'd talk about it because it's sort of a powerful mental model, at least that I've used for viewing the world, and I think it's helped me immensely with my experience. I think, to put it plainly and bluntly, there are a couple words that I sort of gravitate towards, and I encourage myself to consider. And I want to share them with you today. If I could find them. I had the definitions. They're right here. I found them. One of the words is awe. A feeling of reverential respect mixed with fear or wonder. The other word is wonder. A feeling of surprise mingled with admiration caused by something beautiful, unexpected, unfamiliar, or inexplicable. Now, with that definition, I think it's pretty on point. There is one word in there that I don't really fancy, and that is unfamiliar. I think that it's true most of the time, but I don't think that it has to be true all of the time. I think these two words are just examples of kind of a greater idea. I think that most of the time we feel wonder. We feel it in sort of a new place, a new environment, experiencing something fresh, a place you've never been before, a person you've never met before, a film you've never seen before, a video game you've never played before. It could be a ton of those things, something you've never tasted before. But as I continue to grow, I find that you can find wonder anywhere, in anything, at any time. I mean, We are just constantly, infinitely surrounded by it. We're surrounded by some of the most incredible things at any time. I mean, I'm just in my studio room, and I have a piece of metal that's constructed in a way where you can hear what I'm saying from wherever you are. And it's only been possible in recent history for that to exist. Obviously coupled with the internet connection, the computer that I'm using, the screen that I'm looking at right now that shows me a feed of myself in real time. You get the point. Unfortunately, a lot of the times we can just be blinded by the autonomy of life. It's so easy for everything to just blend in and for you to think nothing of it day in and day out. It takes just a little extra to step out from that and to really feel the gravity of everything. There's this quote that I really like, and they say Einstein said it. I don't actually know if that's true or not, but let's say he said it. It goes something along the lines of, there are two ways to look at the world. One of them is that there are no such thing as miracles. And the other is that everything is a miracle. And I find that to be true in my experience about art as well. You can believe that there's no such thing as art, that it's phony, or you can believe that everything is art, that everything is a true form of human expression. The keyboard that I'm looking down at is someone's life's work. I mean, go to any city and just look up at the skyscrapers. Everything around you at all times is a message of love from another person. The shelter that you're in, the heat that's on right now because it's cold outside, and there was an innovation made by somebody to make sure that you could be warm. And I think one of my favorite kinds of experiences are the ones in which I deeply appreciate all of those things. They're ones of awe, they're ones of wonder that can be accessed at any time. All you have to do is be aware. I think we all hear and we all know that life is perspective. You hear that a lot. I think we all realize that. Life is perspective. But how often do we pay mind to our perspective? How often are we observing it and recognizing where it's heading, what sort of path it's on? We know how important it is, but how often do we check in with it? And how often are we just on autopilot? thinking or worrying about something else, when the beauty is in the moment itself at all times. It's just about recognizing it, leaning into wonder, and leaning into awe as much as possible. Let me know if you want to hear more. I'll leave you with one thing I wrote, the last thing I wrote. There are some things in life that you can't change. But as long as you are alive, you can always change your perspective. Once we realize this is when we can truly be free. Thank you.